Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Vanessa with Unconventional Media. Today we're going to be talking about 7 tips to help you get more cinematic footage with your drone. So let's get to it. Up first, we've got combined 2 to 3 movements. So what I mean by this is you can be flying forward, panning up. You can get a nice rotating motion by moving the control sticks in opposite directions. So either both of them out or both of them in. And that one takes some practice. They do have an automatic version for this, but it's not always super reliable, so it's nice to be able to know how to do it on your own in a pinch. You can also do a reveal where you're sort of on top of something and you slowly move back and down. That's just a few ideas. I didn't need to give you all of them. Another one that's really simple is definitely shoot in 4K if you can. I usually shoot in, mine does 4K at 30 frames per second. That way, 1, I can slow it down a little bit if I need the movement to last longer, and 2, 4K helps if you're working in a 1080 timeline. You have more flexibility with your shot in post. Number 3, use ND filters. They really help with keeping that shutter speed to like frames per second ratio right where it needs to be. Otherwise you're like cranking the shutter way up usually because it's bright and sunny, and you know, it's just ND filters, they're great. The goal every time is to try to get 10 seconds of smooth motion, more if you can. That obviously helps with just, you know, choosing the exact right moment you want. And drone shots typically, they can be really nice beginning and ending shots, which you might want to hold longer than some other shots you use. So it's great to have 10 seconds, especially in 30 frames. You're able to slow that down, make it a little bit longer. When I was in college, one of our assignments was to have 60 seconds of smooth motion, not using a preset control, just, you know, one of those movements. Number 5, don't forget the basics. So the basics are the movements like just a straight move forward, flat down shots. People can forget about those. I know I do a lot, but they can look really cool. Moving backwards, not combining 2 to 3 movements, can really help if you end up trying all these cool moves and then you're like, oh my gosh, none of these look good. It's always great that you have those backups of just, I wouldn't say boring, because if you have a beautiful shot, it's not boring if you're just moving forward. It can still be very powerful. Number 6, if you want to get really creative and a little bit dangerous, I recommend flying through things. It can make you look really skilled, really crafty. I like it when it looks like something that you could be filming with, like, say, a gimbal, but then you go off like a cliff, an edge, something to where it's like, wait, whoa, how did the person do that? Pulling backwards and revealing that you were coming through like a tunnel, or I've done it where I'm on the water and then I'm moving backwards and then suddenly I've gone under a bridge. So that can be really cool. Just make sure you know what you're doing with flying, because it can be very easy to crash. And you might have to turn off your obstacle avoidance, because otherwise your drone will be like stopping, trying, and being like, hey, you're gonna hit this, and you're like, no, I mean to do this. As long as you're not actually hitting anything, but you can come like really close to it. Number 7, try to have some shots where you have a focal point or a subject. So this can make your footage look a little bit more focused, because anyone can just kind of take like a nice like shot of open land, but it can be a lot cooler if you have, say, a car in it moving still, like you're around it. A mountain is a good focal point. Rather than focusing on the entire range, try to get like one peak that you've kind of like got centered or seems like the focal point of the shot. Or even just people. If you have someone standing there and the drone like moves past it, it gives you something to look at. If you have someone walking past while you're going that way, all that stuff kind of just adds a little bit more to the shot, so it's not just looking at something kind of boring. That's all the tips I have today. Hopefully you can get some more cinematic footage with your drone. Just try to be a little creative, switch up the shots, always get the basics. If you use a little bit of everything, hopefully you have enough variety to make something really, really cool with your footage. So that's all. You guys know the drill. Like, subscribe, whatever. Do all that stuff. I'll see you next time. Peace.